Hello you glorious YouTubers, welcome to my channel yet again. Well, I'm hoping it's yet again anyway. And where you find me at the moment, I'm just on the north side of Portsdown Hill, coming down a lane I've never ever been down before. I think it's called Birdhouse Lane. Hopefully you can see the scenery in front of me. It's absolutely glorious. What have I been up to this week? Well, to be honest with you, it's only Wednesday, so I haven't been up to anything since my last video at the moment. I'm just out for a ride for the fun of it, and it is a glorious day. Probably the best we're going to get for a little while, because it's promising to get cold next week. Hopefully tomorrow will be a nice day as well, so I can get out tomorrow as well. But I'm just loving all of this. And yeah, this bike riding malarkey's pretty good, to be honest. So what have I got for you in this video? Well, that is a very good question, because to be honest with you, I don't really know myself at the moment. I'm thinking of doing a history of Lee-on-the-Solent. Until I read up on it last night, I didn't actually know it's had two names. So in fact 3, to be honest. It's got a really long history, but at the same time so much of it has changed, not necessarily for the good, as most of these things aren't, but change for change's sake isn't always good. But thankfully most of it's been done tastefully, and it's a nice enough place. Oh, hello, we've got a Ford. Let's go through this nice and slow, I think, because I don't want to get my boots wet. There we go. Got my boots wet. Good job, they're waterproof. Let's go up this way towards Enfield. Well, at least it was clean water. Yeah, so Lee-on-the-Solent, from a motorbike point of view, I don't really know yet, because on Saturday we're going, well, I say we, me and my 2 sons are going up to Birmingham for the NEC motorbike show. Really looking forward to that, and I hopefully, in place of the motorbike history, will have lots of pictures to put up and show you for that. So I'm not planning at the moment on doing a motorbike history. So that's the format for this one, hopefully, and we'll see. But when I go silent in a minute, I might do a voiceover if I've changed my mind. I have to say, since I replaced the air filter with a DNA and put in a decap pipe, this thing is just absolutely perfect. However, having said that, I am still getting, and it's intermittent, I am still getting the engine check light come on, and I know it's just because of the pipe that I put in. In fact, it's probably because of the air filter, because the sensor is close to the outlet. So rather than it being a decap pipe, it's probably just can't get used to the DNA filter. So I may, I hope not, but I may have to get the X-Lite ECU. We'll have to see, and hopefully that will be able to handle it and do what it's got to do. But certainly the factory one doesn't seem to be able to handle it. That's it, not sure how much room she wanted, but hey ho. Yeah, it's lovely around here. I mean, the Hampshire Dales, well, I say Dales, it's Yorkshire Dales, isn't it? The Hampshire countryside is a very lovely thing. The only problem is we have so many trees here. Not complaining, but we have so many trees, it kind of blocks off your view, and you don't get to see so much of it in the long distance kind of thing, just up close. Got a big solar farm here on my right. Lots of them seem to be springing up, but if that's how farmers are making their money these days, then so be it. It's not like we're short of food in this country, really. This is what I love about these back roads here. Windy, lots of bends. I can't stand being on a straight road too much. It's very boring. And even in my car, which I don't use so much nowadays, because I'm always out on this. But if I'm going to pick up my grandkids or something like that, I'll take it, obviously. But even in my car, if I'm on the motorway, it's so boring. I often do trips up to Yorkshire to see my friend, and that trip, I love the destination, I just don't like the journey. All the way by blooming motorway, good grief. Anyway, I'm going to try to be silent now. That'll give me a chance to put in the Lee history, and we'll see what's happening with the motorbikes afterwards. So enjoy. This week I'm going to try something a little different for the local history slot. Rather than an item like a ship, fort or castle, I'm going to give you the history, as much as is known, of Lee-on-the-Solent. So bear with me. If you want to give me a comment on it, please do. At least it'll give me a steer as to which way I need to go. It's a bit of a mystery how Lee-on-the-Solent got its name. There are theories that it may have come from the 14th century La Bretagne farm, which is the oldest building in the village. This name would then become Le Breton, which continued as a seaside settlement until the Robinson family bought a stack of land, and from 1884 to 1894 set out marine trade. Several villas, a pier and a railway line, nearly all of which would have now gone. Its position, just 5 miles west of Portsmouth, made Lee valuable during World War II, and Lee-on-the-Solent gained its current title in the 19th century. This name, with a focus on the seaside aspect of the town, was part of an attempt to rebrand the town as a seaside resort by local man Sir John Robinson, who hoped the sleepy settlement could become a rival for other established resorts such as Bournemouth. Since the 1880s, the landscape of Lee has changed dramatically, with piers in the Victorian era that attracted a great deal of tourism, towers with a ballroom, cinema and restaurant complex at its base, and railways that brought the tourists from all over the country, being significant landmarks at various points in the last 150 years. In keeping with the Victorians' passion for piers, the power that be in Lee commissioned the building of the Lee Pier in 1885. Built to the design of Grebreth Church, Lee-on-the-Solent's pier was grandly opened in April 1888. Ferries ran to Clarence Pier in Southsea during the summer, and during World War I, King Albert of Belgium took a trip. Perfect for gazing over the Isle of Wight and for the preferred pastime of the age, promenading. In 1894, a railway station was added to the town, a branch line off the Fareham to Gosport line. This station was not very busy though, with fishing the only industry that might have utilised the line, and by 1935 the station had to be closed to both passengers and goods transportation, with the majority of track leading up to nearby Nelson being removed. Today, the former station building remains in place, but has a very different use now, housing the Olympia Amusement Arcade. Lee-on-the-Solent has also been long associated with aviation. Seaplane trials took place on Lee-on-the-Solent as early as 1915. A base for seaplane training was established in 1917 on the former RNAS Lee-on-the-Solent, later HMS Daedalus site. On the 1st of April 1930, Lee-on-the-Solent became a civil parish. It was formed from Crofton and Rowner, but just 2 years later, on the 1st of April, the parish was abolished and merged with Alverstoke. At the time, the parish had a population of 2,715. The new Church of St Faith's was built in 1933 and today is well attended. The ambitious and impressive structure of the tower was constructed, an impressive feat of interwar architecture that aimed to put Lee on the map once again. With its cinema, ballroom and Palm Court Cafe, come restaurant, and viewing platform at the top of the tower, Lee Tower was the entertainment hub of the area during the mid-20th century.
Unrivaled views across the Solent were offered to visitors who took the luxury passenger lift to the top. I remember the tower very well. With me and my sisters, we would play under the beach side overhang and shelter there when it rained. These views became invaluable during the war when the complex was requisitioned by the military and used to plan some of D-Day's Operation Overlord. During the period, the tower was painted camouflage to prevent the distinctive landmark from being used as a navigational tool by German Luftwaffe. Art Deco and imposing, the tower remained a local focal point of the village for many years. The dreams of Lee becoming a rival to the other resorts such as Bournemouth and Brighton came to a sudden halt in 1971, however, when the entire complex was demolished following a period of decline in which the cinema was closed and had a short-lived run as a 10-pin bowling venue. On Marine Parade West near the seafront stands the Lee-on-the-Solent Memorial. This was erected to commemorate the 1,926 men of the Fleet Air Arm who died in various parts of the world in World War II and have no known grave. For some time now, Lee-on-the-Solent has been the home to the Hovercraft Museum, which houses the world's largest collection of rare hovercraft, including some of the earliest and the largest. It can be found on the main road along the seafront and hosts an open day every summer. From 2024, it is open every Saturday and Sunday from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. For many years, Lee bragged of a swimming pool, where parents could keep an eye on their children rather than letting them loose in the world's sea. I remember it well from my very early age, but like most things we all grew up with, it fell foul of the health and safety monkeys and was filled in and replaced with the children's wet area and skate park. To point of interest, at the far east of Lee's coastline in Browndown and Browndown Army Training Camp and Ranges. Although the camp is rarely used these days, it's still home to the cadets for summer training, and not so long ago it was the setting for the ITV's TV series Bad Lads Army. Further east along the coast is Stokes Bay and Alverstoke Village. We can't end this without mentioning Lee High Street. The High Street is unique in the fact that it homes over 70 independent shops and businesses, the oldest of which is the bookshop established in 1933, and it still operates in the same building. Many of the buildings on the High Street predate this though, and the ever popular and good footfall of the trade is good and keeps the High Street above water. So that's the local history. I do hope you enjoyed it. I'm sure people who live down this way would have known most of that, or if they didn't, it's at least given them a little bit of an education as well. If you did like it, let me know. You know, it's something I can do in the future. But if you didn't, then also let me know so I can put in more of what you like rather than what you don't like. I did say earlier that I was going to the NEC bike show in Birmingham. I only got back from there a couple of hours ago with about 150 photographs. So what I'd like to do is picture a picture show of a selection of these bikes, so those of you that couldn't go, unfortunately, can get an idea of the day and see the selection of bikes they had. Of course, I had a favourite, which is Royal Enfield, but the whole show was absolutely fantastic. Loads of things going on for you to go and see. So many bikes. Hence the reason I got 150 photographs. And I think I may have dribbled a little bit while I was on the Royal Enfield stand. So without further ado, here is my long day at the bike show at the NEC. Well, that was short and sweet, I know, but I hope you managed to get to see them. You can always pause where the bikes you like. That's it for this week. Let me know your thoughts. I will endeavour to do a proper history one next week and another motorbike history. We'll see how it goes, and I'll see you then. So for now, be safe, ride safe, and take care.